right, guys, welcome back to the channel here at Live Life in Maine. It's that time again. It's time for a market update. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, this is information that you guys are going to want to know. I do this every month. So we're going to give April's numbers for the 5 most populous counties in Maine, which are York, Cumberland, Androscoggin, Kennebec, and Penobscot. And then I'm going to sprinkle in a couple of communities down here in Southern Maine where I live. So again, if you're looking to buy, sell, move here, invest, whatever you're trying to do in the real estate market in these counties or around Maine, then this information is going to be important for you. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a pen and paper. We're going to get after that right now. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As I said, this is going to be a market update for April for the state of Maine. Obviously, I'm not going to do the whole state of Maine, or this video would be for 4 hours, but I do the most populous counties and some cities here in Maine. Guys, my name is Scott Tebow. I'm a realtor broker with eXp Realty, and I get calls, texts, emails all the time from people just like you who are asking me to help them buy, sell, or invest here in Maine. I love it, and if you're interested in looking at some of those options, then I would encourage you to book a Zoom call with me. The information is down below. Drop me a text, send me an email, send me a comment, however you want to choose to get in touch with me, and let's have a conversation to see if I can help you make that smooth move to Maine or help you with a smooth transaction, whether it's buying, investing, or selling here in Maine. More importantly than all that, guys, I talk about this all the time. I'm a husband, father of 5, grandfather of 3 kids now. Veteran, patriot, and son of Maine. Was born and raised here in 1967. Spent about 10 years away right out of high school. Part of that was in the military, and then part of it was just living in other parts of the country before I found my way back here to Maine. So if you like this channel, if you've seen other videos that I've done and you're not a subscriber, why don't you do me a favor and help me keep this going? Drop me a line and comment on this channel, and subscribe to the channel. Tap that bell to be notified so you can be first to be notified when I drop new content. It lets me know that what I'm doing is important and you guys appreciate the information. But it's not about me, it's about you, so let's get into it so this video is not 14 hours long. I always like to go over Maine first, the whole state of Maine, and to give you a perspective of what's going on. So we're looking at Maine's numbers for April 2025, thrown up on my screen now. Obviously, it's still a seller's market here in Maine. Looking at Maine just in general, going across the top key details, months of inventory. There's approximately 3.52 months of inventory in all of Maine based upon April's numbers. This is up from last month, which was 3.42. List to sold price right around what people are asking, 99.1% compared to 98.3% in the month of March. Average days on market, again, these numbers are kind of skewed all over the place, but in Maine, on average, it's 50, down from 59 last month in March. And number of sold listings across the entire state in April was 934 compared to 848 in the month of March. Median sold price, $400,000 compared to $376,261 last month, or the month of March. And number of active listings, there's 3,289 homes on the market. This is only single-family home, guys. This isn't multi-units, condos, anything, just single-family homes. And 2,983 last month. That 400,000 median sold price is interesting because I just heard an update from the National Association of Realtors said the average home price listed in the country, across the country, is $475,000, where the average sale price is $435,000. So quite a difference in drop between what houses are being listed for and what they're selling for. But those numbers are even higher than Maine, which tells you Maine is a pretty good place to be buying property. I get it; it's not cheap anywhere. Maine is the least expensive state to buy homes, to buy property in, out of the six New England states, right? Where 6 is 5 others beside us, and we're the least expensive. We're not the most expensive in the country, obviously, because we're about 18th, 19th, or 20th. I don't know those numbers. They change monthly in terms of housing prices across the country. Over on the left-hand side, back on this screen on Maine, you're going to see estimated value. So this is what the estimated value of homes across the entire state is, according to some outreach research that I use here as a realtor. The average median estimated value of homes across the whole state of Maine is $376,260, and that's down 1.5% over the last 12 months. And there in the middle, you can see the price trends over the last year. So looking at April of 2024, you're seeing houses around I'm going to guess 320, spiked all the way up to almost 410. And now they're right around 4. You can see that what's happening in Maine across the entire state for the last year. I put that in there just so you can understand some trends and what's going on. All right, guys. So now let's get into the meat of each county. Moving forward, I'm going to start at the top and come down. I'm going to start with Penobscot County. This is where you're going to find Orono, which is where the University of Maine's headquarters is. University of Maine at Orono. You're going to see Bangor, which is the third largest metropolitan market in Maine. You got places like Lincoln up there. What else do you get up there? Orono, Lincoln, I don't know, Hudson, kind of smaller towns in and around Bangor or up above Bangor. But this is the Penobscot County, and you can see on the lower right, I've highlighted the county in red. So still a seller's market, months of inventory, 3.06, right around what it was in the month of March of 3.08, just down a little bit. Lists are sold 96.8. This is down from 97.2 in the month of March. Average days on market, 64 days compared to 57 in the month of March. Number of sold listings, 104, up from 100 in March. Median sold price, $262,500. Remember, median doesn't mean the highest or the lowest. It means the average, right? Not the average, but takes all the highs and lows and finds that house price in the middle. That means half the houses are more and half the houses are less. That's median, just so you guys are all on the same page. Last month, it was 290,000, so it's dropped a bit in the Penobscot County. And there are more listings now, 318 compared to 308 in the month of March. Estimated home values in Penobscot County, however, have increased 4.8% over the last year. And you can see, if you looked at April of 2024, it looked like prices were right around 260, and now they're right around 262. So a little bit of an increase. Obviously, it's seasonal here, right? We're coming out of winter. You're going to see how prices have dropped, but you're going to see them start climbing up pretty good over the next 4 or 5 months as we get into late spring and the heat of summer. Moving down the coast, guys, if you head a little bit south and definitely west, you're going to run into Kennebec County. This is where Augusta is, the state capital, Waterville, Manchester, Winthrop, kind of I call it the lakes area. There's a lot of nice lakes. Lake Cabascanti is one of them, one of the best fishing lakes in Maine. I love that lake. But again, same thing, market trends, seller's market, 2.69 months of inventory on the market compared to 3.54 last month. What does 2.69 months of inventory mean for you layman people who aren't in the real estate industry? That means it would take 2.69 months to exhaust, to get rid of, to sell off all the houses that were up for sale right now, which according to this, if you look at number of active listings, is 239. So based upon how fast houses are getting absorbed or being sold and coming off the market, if you didn't put another house on the market, if none of the realtors put another house on the market, there'd be 239 houses. And those 239 houses, based upon the clip at what they're selling for, it would take 2.69 months to get rid of those 239 houses. And then we'd have months of inventory, nothing, because there'd be nothing to sell. So that's how you get to the months of inventory. It's how long it will take to exhaust the number of houses that are on the market. And that fluctuates as houses sell faster or slower. That changes consistently. That's why it's down from last month. It was 3.54. Again, 2.69. List of sold price right around asking, 99.3 compared to down a little bit from 100.3 last month. But again, you're right in that range of what listing agents and sellers are getting what they want for the house. Average days on market 40 compared to 37 last month in March. Number of sold listings 89 compared to 65 last month. And the median sold price in Kennebec County is $340,000, down from $345,000 last month. Essentially what that says is the median sold price last month of $345,000 was split between the 65 homes that sold. So they took the median, looked at all the homes that were sold last month, 65 of them, and they figured out the high and the low and what was in the middle and how many of them, half of them were higher and half of them were lower. That's how they got to $345,000 for last month. Again, April, this month, I should say March, for April, which is really last month because we're into May, median sold price $340,000. 89. So it's the same thing. They took those 89 homes, whatever the highs and the lows were, and figured out how many of them were higher and how many of them lower. And right in the middle was the median sold price of $340,000. And again, Kennebec County is an appreciating market from a year ago. If you bought a house in April of 2024 and you sold a house in that house in April of 2025, you would have gained 4.4% equity in that house over last year. Total median estimated value, $306,345. So $306,345. So again, up from last year. All right, guys, moving on, coming down the coast, hitting the Lewiston, Auburn area. This is called Androscoggin County. You got, again, Lewiston, Auburn, Turner, what else you got up there? I'm not as, Minot, Poland, I think are in Androscoggin County. This is the second largest area, actually, Maine. Lewiston and Auburn is really, it's the second largest city in Maine behind Portland. It's a seller's market, just like almost all of Maine is. Months of inventory, 2.15. compared to 1.47 last month. So up a little bit. List to sold price, sellers are getting a little bit more than they're asking, 103.9% compared to 102.5% in March. Average days on market 23 versus 33, which is probably why the list to sold price is a little bit higher because the days on market is less. So if I'm kind of correlating the numbers and kind of looking at them, obviously, the lower days on market means the prices are going the houses are going faster, and generally the prices are right around what they're asking or a little bit above. If the days on market are longer, that means there's more negotiation for the buyers and the sellers are kind of getting a little less than what they had their price on the market, their house on the market for. So we'll see if that holds true in the next few slides as I go. Number of sold listings, 47. In April compared to 62 last month. Median sold price in Androscoggin County, kind of the same as Kennebec County, a little higher, $350,000, which is up from $337,750 in the month of March. And active number of listings, 101 compared to 91 last month. Again, markets appreciated 2.1% over the last year in Androscoggin County. Median estimated value of homes in Androscoggin County, $322,645. And if you look at the pricing trends, you can see what houses sold for from April of 2024 till April of 2025. All right, coming down to Maine's largest county in terms of populace, in terms of population. Definitely not in terms of size, because that'd be the one way at the top called Aroostook County, or the county we call it. But down here in Southern Maine, you got Cumberland County. This is where you're going to find Portland, South Portland, Westbrook, Falmouth, Yarmouth, Brunswick. This is the Cumberland County market. This is everything really around the greater Portland area. You got Wyndham. You got, I think Buxton is in Cumberland County as well. Months of inventory, 1.62 compared to 2.30. So down a little bit. That means there's not enough houses that are going pretty fast. Oh, excuse me, guys. Didn't get enough sleep last night. Been wanting to get that out of me and holding back, but you could probably hear it in my voice. All right, back to the market. List to sold price, 101.9%. Sellers are getting a little bit more than they did last month in the month of March, 100.3. Days on market, 32 compared to 39 from April to March. Sold listings 220, really up quite a bit from March of 149. Median sold price in April for single-family homes is $580,000 in Cumberland County compared to $548,500 in the month of March. And again, April active listings 356 compared to 343. Look at the appreciation in Cumberland, though, how median estimated values of prices of homes in Cumberland County is $558,580, up 7.6% over the last year. That's a pretty good return on the investment. And as I see, the main market is continuing to appreciate. Little by little, gone are the big gaps of COVID, but little by little, you're not seeing downturns in the main market, unlike you are, or at least in these counties, unlike you are in other states, specifically Florida, Texas, probably California, some of the bigger metropolitan areas that are seeing downturns because they overbuilt too fast, and now you got inventory out there that's not going anywhere. And then look at the big swings of the pricing trends. Look at from November to December. I mean, the market just kind of went down June, July, August, September, October, all the way down to November. It spiked way up in December, dropped again January, February, coming back as we get into warmer months. And finally, guys, in terms of counties, we're going to drop down to York County, the county that I live in, the first county you come into in the state of Maine from the south from coming through New Hampshire. Months of inventory, 3.17, which is up a little bit from 3.12 last month. Listed sold price 100.3 compared to 101, down just a smidget last month. Average days on market 29 compared to 32 last month, down. Number of sold listings 143 compared to 121 from April to March. Median sold price 492,500 compared to 483, so that's up April over March. And number of active listings 453 compared to 378 last month. That's a lot of active listings in Southern Maine. I can tell you where I live: Saco, Biddeford, Wells, Kennebec, York. Lots of activity in those towns and those municipalities. Lots of people selling their homes out there, and there's lots of buyers as they're discovering kind of Southern Maine, getting a little further away from Portland, but again, not, as you get further south, closer to New Hampshire and obviously Boston and that, you're still going to see pretty good home values, but pretty active county York County is. And the median estimated value of homes in York County, however, is $507,990, a little bit higher than what their median sold price is right now. And that's a 3.2% change over the last year in increase. So again, homes are continue to appreciate in York and Cumberland and Androscoggin and Kennebec and Penobscot. So you might be asking yourself, well, why did you say that Maine overall had a depreciating market of 1.2%? Well, there's a bunch of counties that haven't done, guys. There's 16 counties. I did the top 5. But I'm sure if I were to do the other 11, you'd see some counties that are going down in value. I'm going to guess Aroostook, the big county up north, is probably one. Somerset's probably one. Piscataquis, those bigger counties up north, are probably one. Maybe some along Oxford, Franklin, along the west coast of Maine and the Canada border, Canada-New Hampshire border, are probably decreasing a little bit. I didn't know. I didn't dig into them. I'm going to guess at Washington County, the county all the way furthest east before you go into Canada, going up the coast, which we call down east, is probably depreciating. And then you got those counties right down on the coast. You got Hancock, Waldo, Lincoln, some of those counties down there. They're probably holding their value because it's along the coast, maybe even increasing. All right, now we're going to just pull up a couple of towns and cities in York County for those of you that are interested in living in Southern Maine. We're going to start with my hometown, Saco, Maine, where I was born and raised and went through the school system. Definitely a seller's market. Months of inventory, 1.81 compared to 3.43 last month. List of sold price, 102% compared to 99.7% April over March. Days on market's really down. Things are going at a pretty good clip in Saco, 11 compared to 18. Number of sold listings, 16 compared to 7. in the month of March. Median sold price, $601,751. That's pretty high compared to $468,500 last month, April over March, and 29 active listings compared to 24 last month. Saco markets appreciated about 3.7% over the last year to a total value of homes roughly around $505,426. A lot of people like living in Saco. You got the coast, you got the hills, you got Thornton Academy, Maine's largest high school, kind of quasi-private public school. You got a lot of international students that go to the school. A lot of people move to Saco so their kids can go to Thornton Academy. I'm a Thornton Academy graduate, so I'm probably a little biased, but it's a very different school there today than it was when I was growing up. But anyways, that's Saco. You got beautiful beaches. You got some industry there. You get some good pubs. You got Thornton Academy. You get some pretty good restaurants. You got that Main Street in Saco Main Street. Sure does all kinds of stuff, and really nice place to live. I love Saco, Maine, and I love Biddeford, Maine, which is where I live now. Which is the next city we're going to look at. Biddeford, months of inventory, 1.50, right over the river from Saco. Saco River is between Biddeford and Saco. We call them the Twin Cities. Biddeford's a lot different than Saco, though. Biddeford has industry, bigger manufacturing and stuff, where Saco's kind of a bedroom community. Not a lot of big business, small mom and pops, but a lot of affluence in Saco. It's like they work in Biddeford and they live in Saco. Months of inventory, again, in Biddeford, 1.50 compared to 1.73 last month. List of sold price, 106, which is up from 99.7 in the month of March. April over March, 27 average days on market compared to 22. Number of sold listings, 12 compared to 19. April over March. Median sold price, $467,500, down from the month of March of $485,000. Active listings, 18. Compared to 23 in the month of March. Prices again appreciated 4.9% to $488,720 on average. The median price for a home in Biddeford. That means half the houses are more and half the houses less, and you can see the pricing trends right in the middle. Biddeford's about 32 miles as you come into the state, and about 15 miles south of Portland. And it's got beaches and all that as well. Bigger industry, bigger manufacturing facilities, bigger employers. That's Biddeford. Let's go down the coast from Biddeford. Let's say Kennebunkport. I bring up Kennebunkport because it's kind of like Bar Harbor, but down in the south. It's a niche little town. It's very affluent. A lot of high net worth individuals live in Kennebunkport. You got a lot of high end restaurants. And boutique shops in Kennebunkport. But it's a balanced market. Months of inventory, 6 months compared to 5.5, last month in March. List of sold, 96.5, down from that 100% that you're seeing across other towns and other counties, but up compared to the month of March of 90.9%. Average days on market, things stay a little bit longer in Kennebunkport because of the price, 42 compared to 23. Not a lot of activity. Four sold the month before. Median sold price, this is what I mean by affluence, right, in high net worth individuals. The median sold price in Kennebunkport is $1,461,120 in the month of April. That's up from $1,350,000 in the month of March, and there are now 24 active listings on the market compared to 22 in the month of March. The median sale price, median estimated value of a home in Kennebunkport is $1,069,900, which is a 1.3% change over the last year. Kennebunkport is one of those. You don't have a ton of property. Most of it's, again, over $1 million. There's not a ton of activity, but there is activity, and so there's Kennebunkport. Let's move on to Wells, Maine. Wells has it's kind of a beach community just south of Kennebunkport. Again, getting close to a balanced market there. 5.85 months of inventory, which is way down from the month of April, from the month of March of 22.33. List of sold price 99.2 compared to 106.2 April over March. Average days on market 21 compared to 59. Sold 13 compared to 3, which is why that inventory is way high in the month of March. Median sold price 530 compared to 670 700 in the month of March. And active number, a lot of activity also in wells. 76 active listings, 67 of them. There were 67 in the month of March. So a lot of prices, a lot of homes and a lot of prices going on in wells. That's one of the, wells is a market that's really starting to see more and more activity. More and more people are discovering wells. You got obviously the beautiful beaches right there along Shore Drive, and I think it's Atlantic Ocean Drive, or I can't remember it, but it's, you have those, and you got a marsh, and you come up, you got Route 1, you got all that business, and then you get a little further west, and you're kind of in the country. You know, you could be in the country in Wells and be 12 minutes from the beach. So, yeah, Wells, a lot of people looking to move to Wells. Estimated value of homes in Wells, $573,650, up 13.21% over the course of a year from this time last year. So, guys, I could go over every county. I could spend the whole time in Maine. I'm just kind of giving you a highlight of the top 5 counties and some of the cities in York County and what's going on in Maine. Again, if you're really serious about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, the very first thing you have to do, in my opinion, is you really got to look at the data, right? Make smart decisions by looking at the data. The data doesn't lie. If you interpret it correctly and don't manipulate it, the data is the data. And that's what's going on in the month, in the state of Maine for the month of April. I hope this information was helpful, guys. I do this every month. So again, if you like what you hear and you want to keep on keeping tabs on what's going on in Maine, maybe you're looking to move here, maybe you're looking to sell, or maybe you've been eyeing Maine. A lot of investors are looking at Maine, especially along the coast, because those properties continue to evaluate higher than, and appraise higher than anything. Good investment properties too. A lot of investment in Maine in terms of rental income. I think in Southern Maine, in the rental market, the vacancy rate is like less than 0.5%. Just not enough housing to satisfy all the need in Southern Maine, and really most of Maine, but definitely in Southern Maine. So, guys, subscribe to this channel, tap that bell to be notified, and again, help people just like you. I get Zoom calls and texts and emails constantly saying, guys, Scott, can we have a conversation? Interested in buying, selling, or investing. And I'm getting a lot of activity from YouTube as well. So I like it. It's pretty good, a little niche. Not a lot of people doing it. There are a few more YouTubers out there. But I'm just trying to be educational to you and get as much information to you as I can to help you make informed decisions, whether you work with me or whether you work with somebody else. It's important to stay informed. So hope this information was helpful, guys. It's the first week in May. I should have this out by the end of the week. Today is the 6th. I should get it out by the 7th or 8th as soon as it gets edited. But I'm going to drop my content, my information right there in the line. So check me out. Give me a call, send me a text, and send me a comment if you want to know about other things. I do respond to almost every comment I get. And if it's in my kind of wheelhouse, I had somebody ask me last month if I would do an update on selling vacation homes or beachfront properties. So that was my last video. I do have a task list of videos that I've got coming up. But if you have one that you want to know and it seems interesting, and I do keyword search and look what people are searching and it comes up, then I'll do it. It'll probably be a few weeks, but send me that message in the comments, guys, if you want to know about that. So with that being said, guys, stay safe. Go Celtics. They lost last night, but I'm not really worried about it. I think they'll handle business as long as Jalen and Jason don't miss 43 pointers or how many they missed, but it was crazy. But I think they'll be fine. You'll see them in the Eastern Finals. maybe against Indiana, and then I don't know what's going to happen. I was surprised to see Denver beating Oklahoma last night, but crazy. I'm not a huge NBA fan until this time of the year. Definitely a football fan. Looking forward to football this year. Patriots had a good draft, but I'm a Raiders fan, so I'm not going to say any more than that. All right, guys, take care. Scott Tebow over and out. Bye-bye.